Hello, my wonderful writers. So today I am going to need you to have two important things that we are going to use this week for our writing. You should have found this graphic organizer attached in Schoology. So you want to make sure either you had that printed out or you have it copied similar to mine. Now this is actually two graphic organizers. So if you have it already printed out, you're just going to fold it in half so that all we see is this. Okay. And I will explain what this means, but a graphic organizer is a great way to organize our thoughts for writing, and it really helps us once we get to the writing process. So the thinking part is the hard part. So if we have it all organized in our graphic organizer, it's so much easier to put it into our writing. Okay. And then you're going to need to find this book. This is a different book than you are used to doing. This is not the book that you use for grammar, okay? This is being a writer, but you want to make sure that it has the blue box that says Student Writing Handbook, okay? So if you need to go find the right book, pause the video and come back when you are ready, all right? So if you are able to have this book right now in front of you, you are going to turn to page 17. And we're going to just move this graphic organizer away for now. And you are on page 17. And we're going to read a passage today, and we are going to practice pulling out details and putting that into our writing. So all this week, you won't be doing much writing on your own. You're going to kind of watch how I model it, and then the next week, I will send you off, and Mrs. Peters will help you write more on your own, okay? So let's start by looking at the title of this passage. School should start later in the morning. So what we're going to work on for the next few weeks, friends, is something called opinion writing. And opinion should be a pretty familiar word to us because we've talked about opinions in reading, and now we're going to talk about opinions in writing. So an opinion is what you think or feel. So this whole passage, the author's purpose is to persuade, to make us believe, to make us think and feel what their opinion is. And their opinion is school should start later in the morning. And right away, you might agree with that opinion. You might have the same opinion. Or you might say, no way, I like it early. You might have your reasons, okay? But today, we are going to believe and have the same opinion as this author. And then tomorrow, we will have a different opinion. Not that it should start later, that it should stay the same, okay? So I'll kind of show you what I mean. You might be a little confused right now, but it's fun, and I promise it'll be pretty easy. Okay, so like I said, this essay, this text is the narrator's opinion. Their purpose is to make us want to say, yeah, school should start later in the morning. And they're going to give us lots of reasons and details why we should think and believe that, okay? So let's go ahead and read it, and then we will do the next step, which is fill out our graphic organizer, having the same opinion as this author. Even if you really don't believe it, we're just going to pretend. All right. Go ahead and read along with me. I hate getting up early in the morning. It's so hard to get out of my nice warm bed. I want to sleep more. In fact, everyone should get more sleep. That's why I think school should start later in the morning. So this is an example of a master author, guys. So at the end of the next couple weeks, by like week 3, you should be able to write an opinion essay just as good as this. So think about how they start their paragraph. They have a nice introduction, right? That has their opinion, their beliefs, and then they're going to dig in deeper. So this is kind of what we call the I paragraph or the intro paragraph. Okay, so go ahead and write that so we know kind of how it's organized. Okay. All right, let's read further and see their reasons why they think and feel and believe that. Okay. If school started later, kids could sleep later. Then we wouldn't be so tired in class. When kids are tired, it's hard to learn. Nothing seems interesting. We just sit there yawning. We want to close our eyes and go, and I like this author. They added that sound word, onomatopoeia. But when we get to sleep longer, we feel wide awake. We want to exercise our brains and learn new things. We should sleep longer because then we would be more awake in class and learn more. That would make teachers smile because teachers always want kids to learn more. So that is their first reason, okay? And that's called an R1 paragraph. Now, like I said, this is a master author. We're not at this point yet, but by the next 3 weeks, we should be building up our writing skills and getting just as good as them. Okay, they have their reason, they have their details. We'll dig in deeper in a minute to those. Okay, so R1 stands for their reason one. Let's go ahead and read the next paragraph. Also, sleep is really good for you. Kids need a lot of sleep because it helps us grow. For example, I grew 2 inches last year. This year, I want to grow 3 inches. Grown-ups need sleep too. My mom says that she gets sick if she doesn't sleep enough. So if school started later, everyone would sleep more in the morning. Then everyone would be healthier. More sleep is good for everyone. Oh, sorry. That's the last paragraph. So let's stop for a minute before we move on to that one. This is their reason number 2. They have a whole paragraph with reason number 2 and examples. So that's what we call our R2. Okay? Now, this master author only has 2 reasons. Sometimes we will only have 2 reasons. Sometimes we will have 3 reasons. But today, when we practice filling out our graphic organizer, we will just be coming up with 2 reasons, okay? And then our ending paragraph is called our C paragraph, our conclusion. So let's see how they remember conclusion paragraphs, wrap it all up nicely, never saying the end. Please don't ever see that, or I don't ever want to see that. Please don't ever use it. All right, let's read our C paragraph. More sleep is good for everyone. Sleep helps kids learn, and that makes teachers happy. Also, sleep makes us all healthier. That's why I think school should start later in the morning. Let's all get more sleep. Okay, so this again is called an opinion essay. It starts with their I paragraph, which is their intro of what their opinion is. Then they have the 2 reasons, or sometimes 3, with lots of details. And then they wrap it all up nicely with that C paragraph. The C paragraph has things repeated. It has what they've talked about. It includes their reasons in there, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and make sure we have our graphic organizer. So our I and our C paragraph are both going to be our opinion. And for today, our opinion is what? We think and we feel and we believe that school should start later. Okay, so for our I paragraph, we're just going to put just that. School should start later. Now, here's the secret. On a graphic organizer, we don't have to write in beautiful, complete sentences because these are just our ideas jotted down. But then when we put these ideas onto paper, that's when I need those complete sentences and those capital letters and those periods, okay? So just like they said at the beginning, they said their opinion, but then you always restate it in your conclusion. So your I and C on your graphic organizer will always be the same. Okay? And then we've got the reasons. Now, remember how I said this author doesn't have an R3? They don't have a reason 3, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay? So you can go ahead and cross that off. So if we look at paragraph number 1 at R1, what do you think their main reason is? Why do they feel and believe that school should start later in the morning? What's their main reason? Okay, well, let's read that first sentence again. If school started later, kids could sleep later. So if it starts later, why do they want it to start later? What's their reason? Because they think what? They think kids could sleep later. So remember how I said we don't have to write it all in complete sentences? We could just put our reason number 1 is if school starts later, you get to sleep later or sleep longer, right? Let's go sleep longer. Okay, so then they go into their examples. Over here, our A and our B, those are our examples that support our reason. So they say if kids sleep later or longer, what happens? Let's keep reading. Then we wouldn't be so tired in class. When kids are tired, it's hard to learn. Nothing seems interesting. We just sit there yawning. We want to close our eyes and go. But when we get to sleep longer, we feel wide awake. We want to exercise our brains and learn new things. So if they're wide awake, if they sleep longer, then they're not tired and they are able to what? Learn more, right? So that would be an example that goes with why they want to sleep longer. Okay? So what's another reason why they think it's important that school should start later and why sleeping longer is helpful? Well, they learn more, right? Let's keep reading. And let's underline learn more. That's kind of like our example, right? That would make teachers smile because teachers always want kids to learn more. So it's going to make the teachers what? If they smile, what could we say? Happy, right? So if they're saying that if they can start school later, then they're going to be able to sleep longer. They're going to be able to learn more. And if they learn more, they're going to have what? Happy teachers. Okay? So now let's look at, and let's underline that, happy teachers. If we look at reason number 2, what do you think reason number 2 is? Let's look at it. Also, sleep is really good for you. Kids need a lot of sleep because it helps us grow. So they're saying that school should start later because you can sleep longer. That helps you learn more. That makes the teachers happy. But they're also saying that we need sleep, and sleep is really good for you, right? Let's maybe put sleep is good for you. That's our reason number 2. Okay. And then how does sleeping more help you? Let's see. Kids need a lot of sleep because it helps us grow. Do you think that's a good example? Yeah. And we can just put helps grow. All right, let's see. And then it goes in, they tell us they grew 2 inches last year. This year, this person wants to grow 3 inches. Grown-ups need a lot of sleep too. My mom says that she gets sick if she doesn't sleep enough. So if school started later, everyone would sleep more in the morning, then everyone would be what? Healthier. So they're saying that sleep is good for you because it helps you grow and it keeps you what? Healthy. And then remember, they did not have a paragraph 3, so we don't need to do the R3, okay? So this might seem a little confusing to you today. We're going to practice another one tomorrow, and then I will model and show you how we use this information to become master authors and write it in a great opinion essay. So what I need from you today is I need you to just make sure you hang on to this. If I were you, I would just put it right in my book, my Being a Writer book, so that we can work on the next opinion tomorrow. Okay? All right. So that, my friends, is how we use our graphic organizer to start organizing our thoughts for our opinion essays. So we'll talk to you tomorrow and we will continue working on that graphic organizer. Good job. Bye.